up, everybody, and welcome to the FreeMyCity podcast. This is Kendrick.
This is Melissa.
It's your boy Jason.
And this is a place where faith, music, and community collide. And today we're going to tackle the topic of music, And when we think about music and performing arts, we think about a way to express ourselves. And God made us all equal, but he didn't create uniformity. We look different. We sound different. We are different. And today we don't have a traditional artist with us. We've got what some people would call a Christian rapper. We've got what some people might call a controversial rapper. We got, he like the Drake in our world because he be sing rapping. We got none other than LaValis Hamilton with us today.
My Drake thing. Man, what's going on?
What's up, man?
You want to tell them how we met, bro?
Yeah, man. I might as well since you said it. Speaking of music, one day I was in the restroom handling my duties and I walk out the stall and this guy was like, "Hey man, you look like you listen to Christian rap, don't you?" And at the time I was like, I've heard, I think I told you I heard of Trip Lee and Lecrae. That's exactly what I told you. And he was like, "Man, well, check out this CD. And then you let me know you was about to open for the truth." And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to be going to that because I already knew Courtney and that was her birthday party. So I ended up going to that. So we met in the bathroom back in like 2008 while he was exchanging a CD he had. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he washed his hands, but I washed mine.
2009, maybe about it. Yeah,
it was a different world back then.
Hashtag COVID-19.
That was my freshman year, bro.
Man, I don't know.
That was 2008.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're probably right. I don't know.
Or it was something like that. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Man, so as far as music goes with FreeMyCity, I think for me, just even as a consumer, I like the direction that FreeMyCity kind of takes with music because it's not boxed in, you know what I mean? And we get to talk about issues that are going on in our own community, going on in the world, even going on within ourselves. Why did you decide to incorporate music in FreeMyCity as well?
Oh, man. Well, that's how it started. So it started with the song FreeMyCity. And I've always used my music out here locally to try to address things. Like I had the Teenagers at Risk, and that whole mixtape was centered around local content. And like if you was from Killeen and you listen to that mixtape, you'll know everything I'm talking about. So I think being in Killeen, I moved to Killeen in late 2004, and I remember at that time how impactful the music scene was here, like locally, when Green City was like really on the map and Big Spade was doing his thing. And I mean, it just brought a sense of unity and representation for the city. It was like one of those things you just proud of. Like I lived in the Glen, so like I do, I wasn't like originally from Killeen, but I was like, I like the culture right here. And so I really admired a lot of those artists that was doing their thing, man. And talking to some cats that's pretty much grew up here, a lot of them was telling me how the separation in the sections of the neighborhoods, a lot of that started with music. And I said, man, that's interesting, because every hood in Killeen has a group of rappers that really go hard for they section. And back in those times, it was a little bit more like divided. Like it was like if you was from the Dub and and we over here, like, the Dub was jumping everybody back then. It's like, dang, we couldn't even have a good time at Southside, bro. Y'all gotta jump on somebody, man.
They gonna shut this down.
Yeah, they gotta shut it down. Like, my mom think I'm at the skate ring right now. I gotta explain to her why there's cops outside, because of the Dub. Shout out to Willow Springs.
4-9.
So, so that time was just like, it was just fast living, partying, music, concerts, mixtapes. I remember when Spark Dog went to BET. It was just like different things that just really, like, music was a big drive for the youth out here in the city. And I saw that impact that it made on artists like myself and local artists in the neighborhood. Some of the rappers that we have currently are rapping now because the OGs back in that time frame was rapping and they was inspired. So now they're the next generation to rep their section. And so it's, times is a little different now, but I think it's important to incorporate music in what we're doing. It's because we want to balance the message in our community. Coming up, I didn't matter of fact, the first time I heard like Christian rappers here locally that had that content was like REC at the time. And Gritty. I remember being Gritty at the park. He thought I was gonna be whack when I did my set. You know what I'm saying? But I remember hearing them guys and I was like, okay, cool. Like I like how they go hard and they have a message. It brought a lot of balance because if you was here and you'd be, every video you saw was gonna be like something talking about killing somebody, or selling drugs or how flashy you was or degrading women. And when my life started going through that metamorphosis stage, I wanted to create content that brought balance, that uplifted women and that talked about fathers being present and talking about the damage of living in a neighborhood that's gang infected, So I want to talk about the other side, and I think FreeMyCity, it's important for us to create content that balances things out so that we're not just hearing about killing and murder and all the stuff that we out here protesting about, but we actually have content that backs up what we're trying to create in our community. So we want to talk about unity. We got to do that in the booth. You know what I'm saying? We can't be out here talking about some, we need unity and all that, and then turn around and go in the booth talking about killing somebody that look just like you. That's hypocritical. So I think that's why it's important for us to do that, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a power in music and the impact that it has in communities. There was a song, Lavalis, in 2013 that you put out. It's Never Leave.
Yeah.
And so, throwback. And I'm gonna put y'all on a story. It's really deep. But Never Leave came during a time for myself. I think it was like around Christmas time or somewhere around there. And I was dealing personally as a young adult, trying to maneuver what is my adult life and kind of battling with my faith, battling with the world. And Lavalis put out the song Never Leave. And I remember it perfectly because it was a pivotal moment in my life. And this is the first time Lavalis hears about this, but it was a pivotal moment. It was like almost midnight in my garage. And I hear this song, and it was like it was speaking to me at that very moment. And the impact that it had on me, I had to write Lavalis. It was like 11:30, about to be midnight. And I was like, Lavalis, I need you to pray for me. You know what Lavalis did? At midnight, he called me. At midnight, you called me. You didn't know what was going on. You said, let me pray for you. Yeah. But that was through, I wouldn't have looked for that first step forward had not been your music. Because the impact is real. So if it impacted me on my life and what I was going through at that very moment, imagine the power it holds within the community. And I think because this is an amazing, great pillar that we have with FreeMyCity, lean into that, creativity, music, because the impact holds weight. It holds change, because let me just tell you, words evoke thoughts. Thoughts evoke action. And that's what we need more of.
Wow, thanks that just got chills.
That's awesome. I mean, like, music is ingrained in everybody. I mean, if you think about it, putting out music, with the guys that we have within FreeMyCity, I mean, that'll speak to somebody's life somewhere wherever they're at. Because if you, like, for example, if I'm going through a bad day and I want to listen to music, I'm going to listen to something that's going to help me get out of that bad day. Yeah. Now, we need to make music. We're making music. We are making music that brings people out of that bad day, like what Melissa was saying. So it's like, it's just who we are, and we use it as part of our message. And if it wasn't for a lot of the relationships and the music that I've personally heard through everybody, Kendrick, Cold-Front, Lavalis, my brother Hutch, who else we got? We got Tony. We got a melting pot of just artists, and everybody has put out a song that's touched somebody somewhere. you know, and encourage and uplift and bring out and reveal truth, you know, shed light on situations, which, you know, I think that's part of our duty as Christians, to shed light on some certain situations. And music is a powerful tool to do that.
Because you meet people where they're at, because they're forced to listen. It goes beyond just like a nice melody, you know, that plays a factor. But sometimes the melody kind of negates the mechanics of the message, right? Like, you can't consistently look at a melody and not listen to the words. And you know, that's the impact that music has. And I'm so grateful that within this organization there's so much power and opportunity for impact, and how that relates to the youth of our community. Because if we don't invest to our youth, we're going to continue having the issues that lead a lot of our issues now. May it be a violent crime or an unviolent crime.
I have to add, so music is very powerful, you know, as we're saying, and a thing about music as well is it carries an atmosphere. Music literally carries an atmosphere with it, and we know this. You can, I mean, just to fact check me on this, look at your Spotify. Man. Like, they understand that music carries an atmosphere. That's why there's a playlist for moods. If you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're turned up, if you want to go work out, they got a breakup playlist. Like, because all of those different songs and lyrics and melodies, as you said, carry atmospheres with them. And with atmospheres, certain atmospheres can trigger or can trigger certain actions or thoughts, like you were saying. And so it's important, you know, when we look at our neighborhoods, you're not gonna find, you know, the big dope dealer dropping a love album. No. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's bad for business.
It's bad for business. It ain't the image. It's not the atmosphere. And so what we try to do with Free My City is we want to be atmosphere changers. And one of the ways we do that is through music. We want to try to change the climate. I remember doing an interview with the news, and they was asking me about it. One thing I told them, I said, you know, if I can just get in the headphones of these kids, because I see them walking the streets all the time, and I mean, you see them, they got the AirPods or they got the headphones, like, man, like they're always plugged in listening to something, you know, because it carries a certain atmosphere. I'm like, if we can just get in those headphones and get in them AirPods and start and talk to those kids, they'll listen. And so it's so one of the things that we really want to do with the music is we want to encourage other artists that's in the area to consider your content. You know, I know there's some that are really rapping about what they live in, and it's therapeutic. I do understand that when you write, a lot of times you're writing out of that place of hurt, out of that place of your experiences. When I hear songs like that, I don't immediately go, oh man, that's a bad dude. Like, man, he need to chill with all that. Like, I immediately like, okay, he going through some stuff, or he been through some stuff. That's somebody I want to reach out to, you know. And there's a lot of local rappers out here that I have reached out to and had conversations with. You know, circling around the music, the content, and their influence in the community. You know, some are receptive and some are not. But the ones that I have talked to, we have those conversations. Like, hey, I'm gonna call you out, like, because if you gonna call me out, if you know y'all look at me as the Christian rapper with the beard, I guarantee if y'all heard me like hop on something and just go in and, you know, doing my thing, y'all gonna be blasting me like, oh, he a hypocrite and all that. So I'm gonna do the same thing, bro. Like, if I see you at a rally and you protesting and you saying, oh, you know, Black Lives Matter and this and that, and then you go right behind there and do a video with your, you know what I'm saying, talking about killing somebody that look just like you, I'm gonna say, hey, bro, like, what happened to the Black Lives Matter, bro? Does that only mean Black Lives Matter when the white people do it, or does that count when we do it, you know? So I think that music is powerful, and I do believe that going back to what we kind of talked about in one of the other episodes with citizens holding the power, even when it comes to music, the consumers are the ones that really hold the power. You guys, the consumers, dictate what kind of music a lot of people make. if y'all don't want to hear it no more and y'all stop buying it and y'all stop supporting it, they're going to change their game plan. The industry will change their game plan
it's the
because
mechanics of the dollar.
Exactly, they cater to you. Yeah. So if we get educated citizens and consumers that get into this mind frame of, man, I'm not trying to hear about killing folks and degrading women and calling them bees and all this, and then saying you want to get married and have a family one day.
Wait, what?
It's like, bro, you just ruined all your chances, because now all the real women that's on something ain't trying to hear that. Right. You know, they
I'm speaking for women, and that's a no. It's absolutely a no. Like, let me just tell you, in my life, I have had different types of men from the spectrum, right? And you come with a man that talks that way, that lives that way, that's about that life, let's just say, to the image, because perception is reality. It ain't always the truth. Right. And so they treat you a certain type of way. But let me just tell you, as women, ladies, a man will only go as far as you allow him to. And you got to understand and know your audience and know who you get close to. And if that individual is about that life, and that reflects and projects onto you, just know that you are allowing it at that point, regardless of the environment. You never allow someone to use the excuse of, that's my environment, so that's just how I am. No. How you are is toxic and borderline abusive. So back, sir.
Yikes. Man, that makes me think, Lil Baby put out a song recently. And, I know he's a secular artist, so don't crucify me. But he said in the song, like, I know I rap about popping pills. I know I rap about trapping and degrading women. But, like, it's time to change now. Like, it's time to vote. It's time to get serious about uniting. And so it made me go watch the video. And in the video, I was even more surprised because he, like, did a video protest style. And he had all his people behind him. Nobody had AKs, Dracos, nothing like that. It was more so like a song for empowerment. And no, it's not Christian. So if you sensitive what you let in your ears, don't listen to it. Just take my word for it. But I thought it was dope that without even the community holding him accountable, it's like he held himself accountable and was like, yeah, I know I've been doing this to y'all, but we got to be different. And so I think, music has a way of seeping into our subconscious, whether we know it or not. And we'll be walking around our kitchen singing jingles. You know what I'm saying? And cooking and singing Frosted Flakes, something crazy. So, like, I think, man, what would be dope is if a bunch of artists banded together and, it's not, I didn't get from that you was telling them not to speak their truth, but speak your truth and then have a conclusion of, all right, this is what we should do about our situation.
Conflict and solution. That's what it is. No one takes anyone's truth away, because at the end of the day, that is your testimony. That is what you're going to take with you. That shaped your experiences and how you are in life. I get it. But the thing is like, you can't sit on the conflict, because conflict only creates more conflict. Yeah. And I think oftentimes as a community, even in the music and artistry, it creates conflicts amongst each other, because that's what the climate, I guess, calls for, right? Yeah. And sometimes, like, nah, man, like you said, the baby, he said, he did it and held himself accountable. Right. And at what point do the artists in Colleen, particularly, take a step back and say, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. Let's get together. Yeah.
And one thing they can do to start is, man, y'all can link up with us. Like, y'all can link up, with the movement. Because that's really what we are. It's a lot of artists that we have that's a part of the movement that's on that same tip of using their gifts and talents to better their community. Not every song that we put out is gonna be Jesus all in your head. A lot of songs that we put out gonna talk about relationships. It's gonna talk about love. It's gonna talk about what's really happening. Yeah. But
meet you where you at.
Exactly. But it doesn't mean that, everything we talk about, you're going to be able to find it in the Bible. Like, you're going to be able to connect it back to the Bible some kind of way. But meeting people where they're at is what we really want to do. So if you're an artist, link up with us. We want to use this opportunity to bring artists together and talk about ways that we can progress our communities, but then also talk about ways you can progress your career. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of other things that a lot of people are not aware of that want to break into the music industry that they just don't have the right information or connections with. Yeah. That's another opportunity for you to come to the table and share that. There's young artists in the city that want to come up and be rappers and singers. Well, cool. What better opportunity that we have as leaders to sit down with these kids and tell them, hey, this is the route you're going to want to go. You need to learn about copyrights, BMI, ASCAP, get familiar with those. Yeah. You know, how to register and trademark all your material. Stage presence, all those things are important. If you're an artist and you coming from Killeen, we want to be proud of you when you go out to other cities. Not be like embarrassed and say, nah, he from Killeen. Oh, nah.
He should have opened up a YouTube.
He ain't from Bell County. We don't know that brother. That's why man. We want to be able to claim you. So we want to do artist development and all of that. So yeah, get with the movement, man. Get with FreeMyCity, man. That's what it's all about.
Definitely. And there's a power in the mentorship within the community. So if you don't know how to make an impact and you're not spiritual or faith-based, like that's how you can make a impact right then and there. Right. Like take that moment to say, I'm gonna hold myself accountable and make that change. So we'll wrap this up, guys. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you like this, comment, engage, and share it with a friend that's gonna share it with a friend. So once again, thank you for, clearing your mind and, freeing your mind with us. And as we encourage you to free our city, thank you, Killeen.
Free my city, free my city.